have an announcement to make to you, and that is that Gorgeous George's valet was unable to make the trip to Brisbane for this match. However, as is Gorgeous George's custom, he will not wrestle in any ring unless it is perfumed and disinfected. And so, I am sure that he'll be coming in any moment now, and exactly how he's going to do this all by himself, I don't know. I have had the privilege of introducing Gorgeous George in wrestling rings all up and down the Pacific coast of America, and usually it is his valet who does the disinfecting and perfuming. But I would imagine any moment now our other opponent in our main event will be coming in with his necessary equipment to perfume and disinfect the ring. And here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, the human orchid from Hollywood, California, Gorgeous George. I am not sure what he has in that squirt gun, but it is a special disinfectant bearing a strange resemblance, its odor, to a Chanel, number 5. Unless George has a new perfume that has been added. And here he comes, the human orchid, Gorgeous George. Andreas Lambrakis says, let's get away with the perfume. He says, get away, boy, you bother me. He's coming in the ring. He must disinfect the ring. Gorgeous George is disinfecting the ring with perfume and a squirt or two towards Lambrakis. Oh! Mr. Lambrakis. George had took a look at me at that time as if to say he is a very rude one. George is disinfecting the ring with the disinfectant, which is a strange resemblance, its odor, to Chanel number 5. He is perfuming the hand. Yes, George?
That is not Chanel number 5.
What is it, George?
That is number 10. Why be half safe?
Why be half safe? Chanel number 10, says the Gorgeous one. And now Bob McManus says, not too much in the ring, if you don't mind. We don't want any wetness except from the perspiration of your heaving bodies during this contest in this main event. In just a moment, Gorgeous George will let us know he's ready. It is properly disinfected, and so now, may we introduce the main event of the evening, 8-minute round. Coming into the ring at 224 pounds, one of the greatest wrestlers in the world today, former Greek and European champion, Andreas Lambrakis. His opponent, who has gone up against every great wrestler in the world, from Hollywood, California, at 215 pounds, we give you the one and only, the original, Gorgeous George. The referee for this contest from Montreal, Wallaby, Bob McManus. And now back to Brian George.
Well, thank you very much, Jack. Yes, here at ringside, as Jack has introduced the contestants to you, you can see Wallaby Bob McMasters there having a few words to say to the Greek champion, or the ex-Greek champion, Andreas Lambrakis. One thing that struck me then was the fragrance of that particular perfume that Gorgeous George used, and one wonders whether it was Chanel number 9. At the moment, referee Wallaby Bob McMasters saying a few things to Gorgeous George, asking him... Gorgeous George makes a comment to the crowd, who don't seem to disagree with his opinions there to Wallaby Bob McMasters. Actually, Wallaby is asking Gorgeous George, can he have a look at his body to inspect it for bandages? And now you see Gorgeous George spraying Wallaby Bob McMasters' hands with perfume before he'll let him touch him. Off comes the gown. Oh, but don't touch the hair. No, please, don't touch my golden locks.
Now, and just a comment, believe me, it looks so beautiful now, those blonde locks of Gorgeous George. They used to be much longer, but a beautician in a beauty parlor in America put some very bad stuff on his hair, and it has shrunk a bit. But by the time this bout is over, I'm sure it will look like an old cedar mount.
Just happening to notice the gown that Gorgeous George is wearing, one could call it gold brocade. I think that would be right, Jack, with a beautiful red velvet inner lining. With a marquisite brooch there, I believe, Gorgeous George wearing.
This is only one of his many gorgeous robes. He has 100 robes valued at $30,000. And we're waiting for the bell, and there it is for round one in this main event. From Hollywood, California, the human orchid, Gorgeous George, and Andreas Lambrakis. And he says, I've got a real butch haircut, Ma. Well, when Gorgeous George is in the ring, anything can happen. But all kidding aside, with all this fanfare and all this hullabaloo, he's one of the toughest and roughest wrestlers in the world and has beat all the great wrestlers. There he comes in with a full front headlock. Bob McMaster's telling him to break. He isn't having any of the breaking businesses yet. But between McMasters and Lambrakis, he broke it, and he's still seeing that his hair is perfectly in place. Lambrakis, the former Greek and European champion, comes in, and over the ropes he goes. You can see that in your... McMasters tells him to break, and as he breaks, he gives George a chop at the Adam's apple, and McMasters, strangely enough, is warning Lambrakis. They're sparring around. Not one effective hold as yet, and he mussed his hair, and he really can play. Oh, brother. George says that is not fair. He said, he mussed my hair. He mussed my hair up, and he pulled it. And the crowd is booing. He says, let's wrestle, says McMaster. There we go in. He's stamping his foot, and he says, get out of the way. He says, don't gouge him in the eyes, don't pull his hair, I'll have to disqualify you. Lambrakis looks sort of like Pick's bad boy with a beard. There's a figure four wrist lock by Lambrakis applied on Gorgeous George. Standing figure four wrist lock, as you can see. George is very powerful for 215 pounds. He says, I'll pull you up. But he hits the canvas, but he's rolling and the shoulders off the mat. Lambrakis bulldogging that figure four wrist lock. Andreas Lambrakis and the human orchid. He has his hand on his blonde locks, and he smacks him back to the canvas, still holding on to this figure four wrist lock. Figure four wrist lock. George is bridged up. There's a handful of hair that helped him get back to... He says, Gorgeous George, I got him done here, he says. Lambrakis doesn't speak much English. He does say something. It's very funny. Now there's a chin lock applied by Lambrakis. And the orchid is getting a bit of wilting at the hands of the former Greek and European champion. And McMasters is trying to break the hold, telling Lambrakis to break it. And he's warning him again because he said, he choked me. Oh, brother. But he had a legitimate beef then, and McMasters is warning Lambrakis that a stranglehold is still illegal in wrestling. Because I have had Gorgeous George in my lap before in Hollywood and in Portland, Oregon, and I don't want that big beefy frame landing in my lap again. And they're beginning to applaud and said, the audience beginning to applaud and say, let's go, let's have some action. And there he goes. And George comes in with a front headlock. There's a rabbit punch to the back of the neck. A full front headlock by George now. A full front headlock, a rabbit punch to the back of the neck. Full front headlock by Gorgeous George. Full front headlock. Lambrakis in a position. The full front headlock, but George works on the nerves in the neck, which is a form of judo. And there was a whap on the back of the neck, a rabbit punch on McMasters. He said, I thought I was hitting Lambrakis. And he said it was Lambrakis that hit me. It was Gorgeous George that did the hitting. and he blamed it on Lambrakis. McMasters comes over and warns him. Well, here we go again. And the fans are clamoring for some action in this bout. And there is a rolling deal by Lambrakis, a head scissors by George, a breakaway by Lambrakis, and they're up to their feet. That's the fastest action we've seen in the bout so far. A side headlock by George, but he can't pull him over. George has got his leg locked under the rope, as you can see. And Lambrakis went his way. He can't throw him over because he's a powerful man. Has that side headlock, but the leg is locked under the rope. The leg is wrapped. You can see that in your screen. See how that leg is preventing him from hitting the canvas. And as the bell rings, they break that side headlock, and that is the end of round 2. George moves very slowly, but I've seen him go up against a lot of big men, and when he does go in for a crucial hold, it seems like he gets it and gets it rapidly, and that's the end of his opponent. He looks like he's clowning around, sparring, and not moving very fast, but when he does go for a hold, he goes. There's a full front headlock, and he's working around the eyes a bit, a full front headlock, and obviously the fans of Festival Hall don't approve of the human orchid Gorgeous Good. McMasters is watching closely, telling him to break it up. McMasters says, don't get a strangle. He's working over the eyes from this front headlock position, and there is an Irish whip into the cross buckle, and he hits it hard. Here's another Irish whip, and into the cross buckle, and he hit right in the back of the neck. A brutal hole, as I told you, when George does move, he moves fast. And here we go, watch out, and there's a headbutt. George goes down, and 2, 3. Wow, when these falls go, they go. There was a series of Irish whips into the cross buckle, the third Irish whip into the rope. Lambrakis came off the rope with a headbutt into the midsection of Gorgeous George, rolled right on over him, and pinned his shoulders with a body press to win the equalizing fall, and it's a fall apiece as we go into round 5. Now, if either grappler gets a fall, it will be the deciding fall. Of course, if they wrestle out the distance, the full 8 rounds, it will be a draw. George is picking him up, and another whip into the crossbuckle, and the back of the head hit the top crossbuckle and hit it hard. Here comes another Irish whip, and into the ropes he goes this time. George got out of the way. McMasters got hit hard. McMasters is groggy, and he pushes him away. And McMasters gets knocked down by Lambrakis. Why, I have no idea. And he comes in, and he's letting him go. This is the Donnybrook. Gorgeous George is an onlooker. Down goes Bob McMasters. There can only be one end to this wrestling match. The winner, Gorgeous George, with Andreas Lambrakis, disqualified, ladies and gentlemen. That is the result. No referee anywhere in the world will stand for that kind of tactic. There is no referee anywhere in the world that will allow those kind of tactics, and there could be no other decision, as I told you before McMasters gave it, than to award the bout on a disqualification of Lambrakis to Gorgeous George. I wonder if you could turn around. I know you're weak in it for a minute, but before you awarded the bout on a disqualification, I told our viewers that there was no other decision, no referee anywhere in the world could give any other decision.
I'm sorry, Jack, I don't know too much that happened, but I know Lambrakis just went berserk, and if I hadn't done something to him, well, he would have just got absolutely out of hand, and I disqualified him. That was all, and awarded the match to Gorgeous George, who was at least trying to obey the rules. But Lambrakis just went berserk. I mean, he did it once before here, and there's only one remedy for those.